Okay, let's crack this open. Today, we're looking at the ultimate guide for how to take over the world with basically just a guitar, a lot of hairspray, and an insane amount of volume.
I mean, just look at that sea of people. You see artists today like Taylor Swift or Bad Bunny selling out stadiums, right? But where did that whole idea even come from? How do you convince that many people to show up and sing every single word to your songs?
Well, believe it or not, there was a formula. It was kind of like a secret instruction manual that bands in the 1980s got absolutely perfect. And today, we're going to unpack that exact playbook step by step.
All right, let's open up the playbook. Chapter 1 is all about the sound. Now, if you think about this like you're building a character in a video game, this is your base stats, the core foundation you have to have before you can even think about winning.
The name of the genre really tells you everything. Stadium rock. This music was literally built from the ground up to sound good in a massive echoing space. It wasn't made for your headphones. It was engineered for an arena with 80,000 of your closest friends. So here's the sonic recipe. You had to start with these loud booming drums. That was the engine of the whole song, something you could feel in your chest, even at the back of the stadium. Then you layer on a huge, catchy guitar part. That's your hook. The vocals had to be powerful, like a human megaphone, cutting through everything. But the most important part? An absolutely epic chorus that was so simple the entire crowd could scream it right back at you.
And one of the most vital ingredients in that whole recipe was the guitar solo. This was that moment in the song where the guitarist just stepped into the spotlight and let loose, showing off all their skill.
No, seriously, think of it like hitting your ultimate move in a video game. The whole band builds up all this energy, and then bam, the solo hits, and the crowd just goes completely wild. It was a guaranteed way to make any good song feel 10 times more epic.
But a great sound wasn't going to be enough on its own. You also needed the look. So, welcome to Chapter 2, the vibe. If the music was the base stats, then the vibe is all about the cosmetics, the cool skins and emotes that gave every band its own unique personality. So these bands basically had two main settings. First, you had your rock anthems. These were your high-energy hype tracks, all about chasing your dreams, freedom, and never giving up. But then, they'd hit you with a power ballad, a much slower, super emotional song about love or heartbreak. Having both meant they could connect with pretty much everyone in the audience, no matter the mood.
Okay, so you've got these incredible songs. How do you get them out to the entire world? Well, you go viral. And back then, the original platform for going viral wasn't YouTube or TikTok, it was a TV channel called MTV.
This became the clear path to a global hit. You'd write your anthem, you'd make it sound massive in the studio, and then you'd pour a ton of money into making a totally epic music video. We're talking dramatic storylines, explosions, and of course, some seriously big hair. If you could get that video on MTV, your song was pretty much guaranteed to blow up.
So you have the sound, you have the viral videos. Now it's time for the main event. Chapter 3, the arena. This is the gameplay loop, the live show experience that kept fans coming back again and again and again. Just let that number sink in for a second. 80,000 people, all in one place, for one night, all singing the exact same songs. The scale of it was just unbelievable. It was way less like a concert and way more like this massive, shared tribal experience. And being a fan was an active role. You had a job to do. You had to know every single word. You had to wear the t-shirt. And yeah, they didn't have Discord servers back then, but they had official fan clubs where you'd get newsletters and special merch. It created this amazing sense of community. So all of this, the sound, the vibe, the live shows, it was all leading to the final level of the playbook. Chapter 4, World Domination. This is basically the final boss.
And here's where everything just clicks together into this incredible self-powering machine. The epic music videos drove huge album sales. Those huge album sales paid for even bigger tours. Those massive tours created even more loyal fans. And what do loyal fans want? More music and more videos. It was a perfect, unstoppable cycle.
And that cycle generated an absolutely insane amount of money from all these different places. Of course, album sales were a huge piece of the pie, but concert tickets and merch, t-shirts, posters, all that stuff, were right there behind it. It was a full-blown business model. And the craziest part is, this playbook wasn't just for one country. It was a global blueprint. Bands took this exact formula on the road and became massive superstars all over the planet, influencing countless other musicians as they went.
All right, so after breaking down the sound, the vibe, the arena, and the business model, what's the one big thing we should really take away from all this?
It really just boils down to this. The ultimate goal here wasn't just about selling albums. It was about creating a moment, an event, a feeling so huge that it could bring tens of thousands of total strangers together and make them feel like they were part of something.
And that playbook? It's definitely still being used today. Which really makes you think, who are the artists right now that are using these same moves to fill up stadiums? And what parts of the playbook do you think they've changed for our generation? Definitely something to think about.